NFL fans, welcome to the Impact Media Presents Playoff Spectacular Shindig Hootenanny, uh, whatever you want to call this. We never come up with a name, and I don't think we really needed a name, but I'm Jeremy the Impact York from Impact Media. He is everybody's favorite buddy, Daniel Snyder. How are you, buddy?
I'm okay. I'm okay. It's kind of funny. We're about
It's a
to.
nice shirt, by the way.
It's it is a shirt of one of the greatest wide receivers to ever play the game. I lost a bet, so this so happens that I am a big fan of a former player on the Dallas Cowboys.
And in all fairness, I'll let you set the terms. So
Well, the way I looked at it, worst case scenario, I have to buy a jersey of my favorite player of all time that I don't have.
yeah,
And this was really the
and in
only
all
way that I was
fairness,
ever going to get it.
right. And in all fairness, for everybody who didn't know, if Daniel's team was to win, I would probably be sporting Jerry Rice's jersey right now because I believe that's the 49ers jersey that I have. If not, I would have bought one as per our speculations. But there's a good chance I may rehome that soon. So we'll see about that.
Yeah. It's crazy. So I was obviously, we're about to touch on it. I was upset after the
Mhm.
game. I get to work the next day and everybody's talking to me like somebody in my family died. Are you okay, Daniel? Are you I'm like, guys, you have to understand now I wanted my team to win, but it only affects me to an extent because I had no control over the game. So I don't get that emotionally attached to it. I was upset for a good 10, 15 minutes after the game, pouted a little bit, didn't cry, thought I'd cry, didn't cry. I didn't cry because we the way we lost the game and they didn't beat us, we beat ourselves. No homo, if
I think
there's
that's
homo
fair.
to that. It was, I mean, if you look at the numbers, it was an evenly game throughout the entire thing. We didn't lose because Brock Purdy didn't show up. To me, he had a great game. The defensive coach for the Chiefs actually said, he after the game, he got with everybody he could to get Brock's number because he wanted to reach out to Brock and explain to him how impressed he was by his gameplay.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah, I'm with it.
he
I agree.
Yeah. So I think what cost us the game, which I'm pretty sure we'll get even more in depth to. You know what? I'm gonna let you go with the question because I feel like you're going to ask a question that's going to lead to my perspective.
If I'm, I don't like to tout my own self here, build my own self up, but yeah, I do feel like you are about to go into territory that I was going to get into regardless. So yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm not here to show you up because even though you're wearing my team's colors, you guys made it what 2, 3 rounds further than we did, and you made it 4 or 5 rounds more than the team we normally talk about here, the Falcons. So you guys won the NFC. That's something that my team can't say, hasn't said since we were both little kids. So definitely, you know, no disrespect whatsoever. Uh, since I think you were about to get into it, I'm going to start with this question. This may be the biggest theory I heard, and then I'll tell you my answer too. It's kind of a two-part question. First off, did Kyle Shanahan forget that he has an all-world running back? And the second part of that is for the second Super Bowl in a row that he was a tier one coach of, when he should have ran the ball, he didn't. And do you think that's just part of him trying to outthink the room and make Brock Purdy, hey, Mr. Irrelevant, I just made him a Super Bowl champ? Or do you think Kyle was just trying something different because he's always trying to be a step ahead?
Um, as a team, we ran the ball 31 times. That's
Mm-hmm.
counting the three sneaks by Purdy. McCaffrey ran the ball 22 times for 80 yards. He also led the team in receptions with 8 for 80 yards. So he touched the ball 30 times. I feel like we should have ran the ball. I'd say we should have ran the ball 10 more times. He should have ran the ball. McCaffrey should have touched the ball 10 more times running it. But to the Chiefs, my hat off to the Chiefs that they were stopping him. Yeah, he averaged what 24. He was averaging less than 4 yards a carry, 3.6 to be
3.6,
exact.
3.5, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think there's always those plays. And one of the plays was the muff punt. Now, it's only on our receiver or our returner. The only way I looked at it negatively for him, because I'm processing the thing, it hit the guy in front of him's leg. But the first thing I said when I seen that was fall on the ball.
Fall on the ball. I was yelling at the TV.
Fall on the ball. And it's not just him, it's every single punt guy tries to pick it up and run with it. You know what? We've already got to the point where you're not going anywhere with this ball. Just fall on it and make sure your team gets it. That right there to me was a big turn, because at the time, I believe we were winning. Let me see here right quick, because I had it right here. We were winning at the time 10-3. And they had just pumped the ball, so we had just stopped them again. So they couldn't do anything against our defense. That pump muff turned into the game changer, I think.
That was
number
number 2 on the day for Kansas City, I believe, right? They only scored 2. The one in overtime and one in regular, and one in the fourth, right?
That was their first touchdown.
That was the first one.
Yeah, that was the first one. Yeah, the other one, like you said, was in overtime. I thought you was going to ask about the overtime. I thought that was going to be your thing.
We can get into that in a minute.
Yeah, I messaged a few people saying I don't think Shanahan can win the big one. I don't think he has it in his. He wants to throw the ball too much. I agree. Even though they threw the ball more than we did.
Well, they were behind most of the game too.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were. Actually, at the time when they scored that touchdown, it was a tied game. It was 10-10. And then they ended up taking the lead with the field goal. It just said they knew they couldn't run the ball against us. You can't run the ball against. We went in there. They didn't have good enough running backs to run the ball against us. They weren't the Detroit Lions. They didn't have what was it? Aaron Jones is who Green Bay has.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, as good of a running back as that rookie is, he fumbled the ball. When he fumbled the ball, didn't the Chiefs fumble? The running back fumble that ball?
I believe so. Yeah, they had 5 fumbles on the day, I believe.
No, you're not against us. They fumbled him
Patrick Mahomes had 2. Isaiah Pacheco, who you're talking about, had 1. Richie James, Rashee Rice. That was the 5 that I have on here.
But they only lost 1 though. And the one they lost was by Pacheco.
Yeah.
And I think that when that happened, that scared the Chiefs on running the ball. And but honestly, if you would have told me that only one quarterback's going to throw an interception in this game, I would have said fucking Purdy. Excuse my French. It was Mahomes. He's the only one that threw an interception. If you'd have told me that we were only going to fumble the ball twice and both times we're going to be big fumbles and we were going to lose it both times, I'd have thought, man, we're going to get demolished. McCaffrey when he was about to score. Imagine if we score on that first possession, because we were driving. He's that close, and he fumbles the ball and loses it. McCaffrey's not known for fumbling. I think he might have fumbled 2 times the entire year, if that many. I don't remember him fumbling the ball.
I think he fumbled twice at Stanford or whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't. Because our fullback went to Harvard, right?
I think so.
One of them went to Harvard, the other one went to Stanford.
They've probably read every book behind me.
I'm surprised. I'm thinking you're in their library. But
could be.
The whole game, I was hollering at the TV, also saying, "Why are the refs not throwing flags for holding?" Because they were holding on that Chiefs offensive line so dramatically, and it was
Mm-hmm.
obvious too. It was obvious. But once again,
It
I'm
was
homering a little bit on that because I'm pretty sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure we were holding a little bit too, but I wasn't looking for it. I was looking for what our guys were going to do.
it was probably
Um,
2-1, 2.5-1 them to you guys. You were both holding, but they were doing a little more.
yeah, okay, I'll take that. But I kind of feel that Steve Wilkes, who was eventually fired, should have been fired earlier in the year. I don't think. I think the whole reason he wasn't is because the team turned it around once they brought him to the bottom. If we would have struggled those 2 games once he got brought to the field, he would have been fired during the year.
Yep.
He shouldn't be surprised he was fired. Everybody else watching shouldn't be surprised he was fired. He took this defense that was already great. This defense has already produced 2 head coaches. Um, so let's not look at this firing of Steve Wilkes. I've seen a lot of backlash for Shanahan and them. Let's not do that because he should have been fired during the regular season. He low key his play calling for that last drive for that defense, in my opinion, was so questionable. I'm like, what are we doing? So, yeah.
All right. Well, you brought it up, so let's get into that coin toss.
Okay.
And I'll throw my 2 cents in on that. That I don't think Kyle was trying to outthink the room. I don't think this was to prove that Mr. Irrelevant could be the next Joe Montana. Hey, he still may be, but I don't think this was Kyle doing what he did when he was with Atlanta. I don't. I think this was 2 completely separate incidents. It just happened to get the same result. It's not. I'm going to have to defend Kyle on that. That I don't think it's on him about that. But we get to this coin toss. Almost everybody is under the impression. For one, almost everybody's under the impression you call it tails because supposedly because the heads
Tails never fails. Oh,
weighs weighs more that it's supposed to hit first or tails never fit. There's all these different things. I don't know. Probability of a coin is kind of all over the place anyway. It's not 60-40. It's probably 50-50, no joke. But so the 49ers win the toss, do they not?
yes, we did.
And I wonder if Kyle told his player what to do or if his player decided to do it. We never heard that thing. And I'm not putting it on either one of them. I
Kyle
would
had
imagine Kyle told him what to say.
yeah, Kyle told him. Yeah, Kyle told him if we get it, I want the ball.
So thoughts on that strategy, on taking it first? Because you heard what he said. He said, hey, I figured with these new rules, I completely understand these new rules. If they do what we do and we're still tied, we get the ball for the first possession of sudden death, and I feel really good about it. That's his strategy.
Well, I mean, if that was his strategy, then my mind, you know who you're facing. You don't settle for anything less than a touchdown. And Patrick Mahomes said it afterwards. If they would have scored a touchdown, we would have went for 2. He said that we were either going to win it or lose it on ours because we couldn't give it back to them.
You know who else said that?
Who?
They're at Chris Jones or whatever, their pass rusher that they're trying to re-sign. A defensive player said, "Oh yeah, for the last week and a half, we went over that scenario to where if it comes down to overtime or the end of the fourth quarter, if it's between kick a field goal or kick the extra point to tie or go for the win," he said we were going for the win for the last 2 weeks. That was our strategy. Even the defense knew that the Chiefs were going to do that.
Winners don't play the game to tie. Winners play the game to win. And that's why I didn't listen. I'm backtrack a little bit. That's why I didn't blame the Lions for what they did against us. He's not playing the game to tie. I'm playing to win. We're going out here to win, and that's how he played the whole year. So I mean, he got a lot of backlash, but it is what it is.
Who was it? Herm
Now,
Edwards who said you play to win the game. I mean, I agree. That's why you play.
yeah. There was a lot of backlash for the 49er players that said that they didn't know the rules. I mean, I didn't know the rules either, but then again, I'm not in the NFL.
And I'm actually okay with that. I'm okay with a majority of the players. I would be willing to bet Brock Purdy, Christian McCaffrey,
You
Probably
said he didn't know.
Brandon Ayuk, one of the and whoever the center is, those people probably knew the rules and a couple defenders, and of course the coaching staff knew. Beyond that, I'm okay if my backup running back or my left guard doesn't know because I've got leaders on the field that can go, hey, just follow me.
Yeah. So I mean, it didn't end like I wanted it. After the game, like I said, I was upset. 15 minutes later, I said, "Up on to baseball." Yeah, on to baseball.
I hear you on that one. All right, so we talked a little 49ers. I know you gave some credit to, I mean, if people don't consider or give Patrick Mahomes the respect that he's one of the best in the game now and could be one of the best down the road. I hate comparing people in eras, but he's just that guy. He really is the Undertaker at WrestleMania. You can say it's the whole team. You can say it's Andy Reid. You can say it's him. It's one of the best comparisons I think I've ever come up with. That you just have to find that one way to beat him, and you can beat him. But so far, nobody can figure it out.
It's not the team, it's him. It is Patrick Mahomes. That entire final drive, Mahomes did Mahomes magic. Um, I said it. I said it throughout the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. If the 49ers were playing, I mean, if the Chiefs were playing any other team but mine, I'd been rooting for the Chiefs to win because I like Patrick Mahomes. He's not a cocky guy. He's very big. He's big team friendly. He never puts the limelight on himself, even though he is that star. Which kind of makes me excited for what we have in our quarterback because I see a lot of that in Purdy. I didn't see that with Jimmy G. Honestly, I'm be honest, I didn't see that with Tom Brady. I felt like Tom Brady was a big me person. That's just my personal opinion. I was never a Brady fan. And a lot of the great quarterbacks. Oh, we can talk about one of the great quarterbacks. Kansas City Chiefs defensive coordinator compared Purdy to Drew Brees.
Yeah,
Which I think we talked about
that because he's I think they're both highly motivated. They're both big competitive people, and the
and they're
accuracy.
little.
And you could say it's because it's a lot of checkdowns, but it's not checkdowns. It's Brock Purdy can throw the ball down the field, and it's right on the money.
Yeah, but here we got back over there 49. Let's get back to the Chiefs. Travis Kelce will also. He's no Gronk, but he is the best tight end in the game right now.
He's closer to another Kansas City guy. He's closer to Gonzalez. Is the way he plays.
I can almost, and here's what's crazy. I felt like we shut him down. That's what I feel like. I looked at the numbers, and I don't know if you looked at him, but he had 9 receptions for 93 yards. When you feel like you shut somebody down, and I'm just now looking at this is my first time seeing the numbers. Before I seen them, but I didn't look. You almost get 100 receiving yards. You almost have 10 receptions. And the person that was rooting for you to lose says that they almost shut you down. That's how good you are. Yeah. The second place person, the second place receiver was who's M?
Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman.
Yeah, who is that? He had 3 receptions.
Former UGA Bulldog, Mecole Hardman.
Okay, well, I didn't know. Jay.
Only reason I know is I co-host a Bulldog show, and he's told me half a dozen times that he went there.
Justin Watson. Don't know who he is. He had 3 receptions.
I think he works for Allstate. Justin Watson.
Okay.
He runs the San Diego office, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Once again, who are these guys? That's what makes Mahomes that much better. The running back, they ran the ball. You know who led the team in rushing? Mahomes.
That's Mahomes, yeah.
Yeah, 9 carries for 66 yards. Second place was Pacheco,
yeah.
Yeah, he had 18 for 59.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it was Mahomes. It is what it is. We lost to the greatest dynasty of this generation. They said that they are going to three-peat, is what their plans are.
They might
until you beat them. You can't bet against them. Somebody, and you can even beat them during the regular season. Everybody was beating them during the regular season. They came in at what, the 4 seed?
Something like that. 3 or 4, one or the other.
Well, it wasn't 3 because their first game was an away game to the Bills.
Was there? Or was that round 2?
Yeah, it might have been round 2, but I could have. Yeah, I mean,
I think they opened at home, then they went on the road for the
to
Bills
Buffalo, and then they went on the road to Baltimore. Once again,
because they beat
this year
Houston or
they
Jacksonville or
beat.
one of those.
So I thought they went to Miami to play Miami. Miami came to Kansas
That's what
City.
they did. Miami. It was Miami.
So Miami came to Kansas
That
City.
sounds right. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so because Miami faded there at the end too. But I think
You're
the way
right.
you just said it, it's something I stand behind too. And I'll put it in wrestling terms so that at least me and you understand it. Maybe the rest of our audience doesn't. But
To be the best,
you know,
woo! You
to
got to
be the
beat the
man,
best.
you got to beat the man. You know, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And right now, they're the man. So I agree. Until you beat the champ, you're not the champ.
Yeah. So yeah, it is what it is.
It is. Now, past that, I thought it was a fantastic game. I mean, for somebody who had
Very
nothing in
entertaining.
this, I thought it was very back and forth. It was two of the best coaches, two of the best quarterbacks in the league, at least this year so far. It was very back and forth teams. There was no, there was a couple little things here and there. Like you said, the muff punt. There was a couple other things that Kansas City did too. Putting the ball on the ground 5 times is very uncharacteristic of them because up until that game, they had played the most statistically perfect playoffs up until then. You look at their stats, and if QBR rating and all that is through the roof. Mahomes is like 80% accurate, and everything they did up until they've played the 49ers, they basically just outstatted everybody.
Yeah.
And then they get into the 49ers, and Andy Reid said, "Wait a minute, I got to put a different pair of pants on for this one. I got to do something different. Kyle's going to get me."
It was a great game. It was a fun game. It was unfortunate for us 49er fans, but um, I'm glad it was a good game. I thought, but I did say that if it's a close game, we will lose.
Mhm.
If it's a blowout, we were going to win. Um,
I
it
did
looked
give you
like it
credit for
could
that.
have. It looked like we could have blew them out. But when it, and you know what, and I have to tip my hat to you being a Michigan fan. Moody came through, dude. Moody was what had ice in his veins for this game. I thought he would be the reason that we would lose. He was almost the reason that we won, but he was the reason we lost. I will go to that missed field. Actually, it wasn't his fault. It was the offensive line. That blocked field goal extra point was really the reason that we lost the game. That 1 point. They
Yep,
couldn't have been driving for a field goal at the end there if that field goal is not missed or if it's not
exactly.
blocked. So, but I will say that Moody had a great game, and I'm hoping that game that he had there carries over in the next year and gives him the confidence that he needs for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we're in our final 10 minutes or so now.
Well, then, hey, in that case, let's get to some wrestling since we brought some up. I'm done talking about
Right?
football.
I mean, this is what I'm rocking here today. So
All right,
one of my
arriba
favorite
la
shirts.
raza.
So
Dun,
we got
dun,
about
dun.
9.5 minutes, as I said. So let me make sure. Had to throw up
I got
that background, but let's throw up this one for the remainder of the show,
okay,
and
okay.
hope I don't get sued. I may be one of the few people not sued by them right now, but
They're
the
too busy
elimination
worrying about
chamber
other
happened.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah. At least I'm not in those courtrooms. But the elimination chamber happened last weekend. We both watched it. Have you ever been to one of these pay-per-views?
Elimination Chamber, no.
I saw one in Augusta when ECW was part of the third brand, and we went up there and we got within about as close as it looks like I am now. I walked all the way up to the barrier and looked at that thing. It's it's not a magic stage. It's not a bunch of gimmick things here and there. That is real chain. That is real steel. That looks like it hurts like crap. That there's no forgiving. It's not like some of the other cages and other things they do where there's a little bit of give. That is straight up metal chain. That is straight up steel. That and that plexiglass, that Lexan, I have dealt with Lexan in various things away from this show, and That is no joke. I would rather get thrown through a plate glass window than Lexan because Lexan will cut you to
Does
shreds.
not break. That's right. If it does break, it hurts you, but it'll bend just enough to throw your body off of it. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah,
But
let's start.
I was surprised by it, by the elimination chamber. But go ahead.
Let's start with what was one of your more surprising moments of this thing. We'll start there.
It's the same thing that's been for the past year of pay-per-views I've watched. I haven't watched them all, but I've picked up a pay-per-view here and there, and that is how I'm trying to find a way to say this. How Logan Paul has took to wrestling like water to an ocean. This man,
Oh man,
I hate his guts only because of his how arrogant he is. But that shows me how good he is. That I mean, he is playing himself, but I kind of want to feel like he's actually a good dude. I want to think that.
I know his brother is. I've been at
Jake,
a media press conference with his brother, and his brother's very humble and very laid back. He does put on a front to promote things the way
of
Logan does,
course,
but at the end, they're just a bunch of kids from where they're from Florida or wherever they're from. That they're just good kids.
and see, and that's with him. He's took to wrestling so good. He does stuff that that somebody that's only been wrestling for 2 years shouldn't be doing. Yeah, you muted yourself. You might want to unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm having a coughing attack, so I'm trying.
Yeah, I heard. I heard. Yeah. You can. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that's what I took from it. Also, I'm over here looking at the card to kind of remind myself of what it was. I beat my dog up. Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. I was introduced to them leading up to this.
What do you
I
think
guess
of
they're
them?
called the Catch Republic. I was a Pete Dunne fan, but when he was in NXT, because I love his just how knuckle he is and his little breaking, and I like that. I like that he's really good at his craft. And what they're doing with the Judgment Day is very, very impressive. Remember, I don't watch as much as you do, so I don't know as much what that's going on. I was a
I don't know that
Damian
anybody
Priest.
watches as much as I do.
I don't watch the new stuff. I will say that. I might watch as much as you, but I don't watch the new stuff as much as you. Actually,
Okay.
no, I probably don't. Yeah. I know. I guarantee I don't watch much of you. You watch all of them. But I was a fan of Damian Priest when he came. I was surprised that Ghost, come here. I'm gonna beat my dog up in a
I've been a
second.
fan of Damian Priest since he was in Ring of Honor, which was before NXT signed him.
Okay. He's a star now. I like that he has Money in the Bank, and I think he's a great champion right now. I think he'll be a great champion. Right now is not a good time for him to cash it in. I think right now there's a lot going on. So I enjoyed that.
He's only got a couple months left on that. That thing runs
I
out in a
know.
couple months.
You know what's going to I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because what we talked about doing, I feel like he's going to cash it in at WrestleMania if Seth does beat Drew, which Seth will beat Drew because Drew does not deserve the title. He won't carry.
Drew wins
I don't
anyway?
think.
What if he cashes in on whoever
Well,
wins?
but I'm saying I feel like if he's going to cash it in, Seth's going to win because you can't have a bad guy turn it in on a bad guy, and I feel like Drew's a bad guy right now.
Yeah, he definitely is.
Or I guess in the terms of this is that he's a heel.
But no, just think, McIntyre, just terrible. McIntyre's raising it up. He's like, "Oh, I'm finally getting my moment. COVID cut the other one short. I'm finally getting," and then just bam, here he comes. He cashes in, and Drew's like, "Are you kidding me? He just up and snatches this for me." Yeah, he just did.
And it's going to surprise them, WWE, a little bit. For the beginning, yes, he will be a heel, but I feel like the fans will end up turning behind him. I think they want to, but he's a really good heel right now. But the biggest heel in the entire WWE right now is Dirty Dominic. Mysterio. He is the greatest. I love no. It does not matter where he goes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's his poppy. So
Guerrero means warrior in Spanish. So I mean,
yeah. So no matter where he goes, he gets booed, and then they won't even let him talk. They boo so loud, and I love that. And he's playing it up. He's great. He might end up being better than his dad, to be honest with you. Like Ray is might be a better performer, but an all around like a better wrestler, but an entertainer. To me he's already a better entertainer than his dad was. Ray was not good on the
absolutely.
mic. So and to me that's what it's about now. We could talk about the women's elimination chamber. I will always be so with women wrestling, man. They're nice to look at, but when I'm watching them, I see so many blunders, and I'm like, why can't you make it smooth like the men do?
I think part of that is they're trying so hard. They're trying to live up to that when they should just sit back and do what
Just
you do,
do
and
it.
it's so much
Yes,
better.
yes. I didn't know. I'm gonna tell you who I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who Raquel Rodriguez was, and I didn't
Okay.
know who Tiffany Stratton was.
I'll have to
And
introduce you to Tiffy Time. Tiffy Time is great.
she was my favorite in the entire match. I was like, she is good. I think she might end up being as big as Becky and all them. Um, I'm a
Very
big
possible.
Bianca Belair fan. I love her ponytail, little stuff she does. Big fan of hers, and she's easy on the eyes. Um, I knew I had heard rumors that Naomi was coming back when she came back to Royal Rumble. So to see her in this, I feel like she's a superstar to have around, but she's not going to get no heavy push. How are we looking on time?
About a minute. So
Okay, we'll talk about them. I'll talk about the main event with you, and then we'll go on our way. I knew Rhea Ripley was going to win in her home country. That was a stupid match to even put as the main event. The men's elimination chamber. I knew Drew was going to win. There was no reason for Bobby to win. KO and Logan Paul have been going at each other for so long.
but
It didn't
the
matter.
wrinkle they threw in set up a WrestleMania match. When they had Logan cost Randy Orton the match,
Yes.
that's going to be the WrestleMania match.
Yes. I was about to say that right there and that might lead to Randy getting the title to give Logan a push for the championship.
I could see that.
But yeah, I was upset LA Knight didn't get it. He's my favorite. But yeah, let's do this. We talked about it, we'll might shoot for a show before pay-per-views and a show after pay-per-views. Turn it into
Yep.
this.
Yep. We'll figure out something. We're definitely going to do that. We're not going to spend the back half of this show workshopping, but we appreciate all of you, all of your time and work here. Shout out to the Morning Five for allowing you to come hang out with us. And for my good buddy Daniel Snyder, I am Jeremy York. Thanks for tuning in to the Impact Media Playoff
Extravaganza, yeah.
We're going to go with that. Shooting Annie, shindig, I don't know. But we'll see you guys.